Hello and welcome to another edition of Conspirator Brooks Pull List. This is my pull list for the week of January 6th, 2021. it's it's the first Wednesday of 2021. It's the first Wednesday of 2021. A lot of crazy stuff happened today in America, and I have no idea what, I haven't finished looking at the news and stuff like that. I had to get the kids down to bed, walk the dog, go get books. All of this stuff happens. So, but yes, it's January 6th of 2021. Yeah. Anyway, uh, this is my pull list, and it's Conspirator Brock's pull list. Yay. Um, it's a weirdly tiny week for me, but a variant heavy week for me. And so I'll get into that in a minute. This is going to be going up late due to the fact that our DC books came last week on Wednesday, and so they've been sitting in the back room, and we put them out. Technically, we put them out normally on Tuesday night going into Wednesday. We don't do the Tuesday release at our shop because it's not feasible to put it out 2 different days, because why would people want to come back? It doesn't make sense. So we normally put all the stuff out on Wednesdays. Well, the diamond shipment, not the lunar shipment, the diamond shipment was delayed. And it did not arrive until this morning, which Ryan had to go pick it up and then process it. So he got it all processed and put out today. We got trapped in the wonderful delayed shipment from Diamond bubble that we were avoiding, and doing well avoiding. But so needless to say, Tuesday night I went and picked up my DC books. Tonight on Wednesday I went and picked up the small handful of independent books, because I don't actually buy any Marvel books. Although I was tempted this week to buy one, and that's because it's the Star Wars High Republic comic that's coming out. And so with the book and all that stuff, I'm really curious to see what they do. But we'll see if I actually pick that up. I definitely will pick up the collected version, but we'll see. I can show you. So my poll is this, which I'll go through in a minute. But the variant pile, get ready for it, is this. Yes, I know I'm a sucker for variants. Okay, don't judge me very much. You'll see why the variant pile is much bigger than the other pile, because of the titles that came out and what came out with those titles. So first off, let's get into it. So the first book up for this week is crossover number 3, which crossover has been great. It's been amazing. If you have not yet checked it out, I highly recommend it. Donnie Cates is doing a fantastic job with the concept of superheroes in our world, and them kind of being kept at a distance in camps and stuff. It's really interesting concept of just and I'm not sure where it's going, but it's good. And there's been a lot of nods to old 90s image things, and you'll see one of those things later. Next up is obviously one of the biggest books this week, and that's Dark Knight's Death Metal number 7. I got a chance to actually read this early, and it was good. I enjoyed it. I think Dark Knight's Metal ran maybe a little too long, had a few too many extra one-shots, because reading all the one-shots and reading all of and reading Metal, I think there was something like 20 some odd books in the whole thing. 7 of them were actually Dark Knight's Death Metal, and the rest, 13 plus, were just either 5 of those was the tie-in issues with Justice League. So there's that. So 12 books. The rest of them, which is probably another 12, are just the one-shots. So it was really kind of I enjoyed a lot of them. Some of them I didn't care too much for, but overall, I think people maybe got to burn out a little with the Dark Knight, or with the Dark Knight's Death Metal stuff. I enjoyed it. It was good. 7 is great. Scott Snyder did a fantastic job, especially leading us to kind of where DC's going, because it, it kind of gets us there, but I think the explanation will be a lot better afterwards. So, Dark Knight's Death Metal, 7's out. Read it, you're good, all that stuff. Which brings us to what is DC's future state. Now, the titles are all the titles for DC now are future state titles. There's a handful of titles coming from DC, like Strange Adventures and Rorschach, and oh god, there's a couple others that are just they're regular books. They just come out. But DC is doing line wide for January and February future state. So these are the first ones to come out. So the first one up is Future State The Flash, number 1. So we get to see what goes on with Flash here. I'm super stoked to see what goes on after Dark Knight's Death Metal, especially with this kind of future state thing and what it's all about. Next up is, of course, one of my favorite characters. Let's be honest, it's probably one of my favorite characters. It's very late. Don't judge me. Future state, Harley Quinn. So we get to see Harley Quinn jumping around in this future state world. So we'll see what that entails. Is she still good? Is she bad? Is she something else? Is it a different character completely? Who knows? Next up for future state is The Next Batman. This is the little bit thicker one. The two prior were $3.99. This one is $7.99. It's a little bit thicker. It's got a little bit more stuff in it, but it's also featuring the Outsiders and Arkham Knights. So I'm really curious about this one. So that's the anthology one, I believe, from that's coming from the Batman line. If I'm correct, I don't remember. There's a lot of them. One of them is the anthology. I think that's that one. But I'm super stoked to see where it goes. Next up, we have Future State, Superman of Metropolis. So this looks like stuff with John, Superman and Lois, or Clark and Lois's son. So we'll check out what's going on with him in this future state. The next one we got is Future State Swamp Thing. So yeah, I love Swamp Thing. It's amazing. I can't wait to see what they do with this. Hopefully they don't botch it, but I love Swamp Thing. If you have not read any Swamp Thing, yes, go read the Alan Moore's. But for me, I really, really enjoyed the Scott Snyder Charles Soule run from the New 52. I thought that is a much better place for people to kind of jump in and learn about the Swamp Thing and just really get who the Swamp Thing character is. Not to bash Alan Moore's run on it, which was really good. But for me, I really prefer Scott Snyder and Charles Soule's run. Next up, we have Future State Wonder Woman. Oh, look who it is. It's that new Wonder Woman girl. So I don't know if speculators are going crazy for this stuff. I have no idea. But if you really want to check out what's going on with the new Wonder Woman in Future State, it's out this week. Go grab yourself a copy. Next up is a book. It's coming from the pages of Death Metal. So some stuff that goes on in Death Metal basically is what's going on in this book, or affects what's going on in this book. And this is Generations Shattered. This is a giant boy. It is $9.99. It's a thick one. It's really good. I actually read this. I took the time to read this before recording, and I'm really glad I did because I enjoyed it. It has a cast of characters that you might not think is the best. But by the time I think it ends, it's in a decent spot. But yeah, Dan Jurgens, Robert Vendetti, and Andy Schmidt are writing it, and it's just got a slew of great artists: Ivan Rice, Rags Morales, and more. So if you're curious about what's some stuff that death metal's affecting, pick this up, check it out. It's good. I enjoyed it. I can't wait for the next one, which is Generations Forged, and I believe that one's out next month. But yeah, really, really good. I think it's a solid read, and it's worth the $10. And finally, there's not very many titles this week for me. We have The Walking Dead Deluxe number 6, and of course I picked up the David Finch cover for this one, which is, yes, the main cover. So now I can actually sit down and read the colored version of The Walking Dead Deluxe because I read this in trade. originally, and so going back, I'm actually not going to read it in single issue. I'm still going to stick with the trade format. So every 6 issues, I will sit down and plow through 6 issues, just like there are in the trades. Because yeah, I don't know how people did it, reading one issue after like every month, and yeah, I would go nuts. Yeah. So next up is my variant pull list. These are the variants I picked up because I liked them. I thought they were cool. There's a lot, and I'll show you why there's a lot. And yeah, I don't think it's the best timing on DC's part to actually have these come out. First one is Crossover 3, and it's got Spawn. So this book is, people are going to go nuts for this book because it's got Spawn on it. Spawn is disgustingly back in the mainstream. People are just buying up Spawn because they just want it. They love Spawn. There was a nice throwback to a Spawn issue, last issue of Crossover. If you've read Spawn, you'll remember the costume hands sticking out from behind bars, and in, I believe, Hell. And it had a similar feel, a similar scene in Crossover. So I liked it. It's pretty fun. I picked up the Spawn cover because, yeah, it's a Spawn cover. And Crossover's been really good, so it's justified. Next up, I have the Finch cover for Dark Knight's Death Metal #7. I picked up this variant because I've been picking up the majority of the variants for Dark Knight's Death Metal. And I also got this one for issue 7, which is like the ghostly one. And then I picked up the Jay Lee one, which was pretty cool, so I decided to snag that one up as well. Future State had a Flash cover that I was curious about, but I decided to pick it up. It's not that I like it the most. I think it's one of those things where I'm just so used to getting the Flash variants that I just put it down, because it reminds me of some of the Flash Forward variants, which I didn't necessarily get. I got like one and then didn't get any more. Who knows? This is where the variant cover stack gets ridiculous. For this and one other reason. So Future State Flash has a Wonder Woman 84 cover by Nicola Scott. Beautiful cover. Great. Amazing. It's a lot when majority of the Future State books have 4 open order variant covers. 4. Yeah. So, like a sucker, I got a majority of them. So that's why it's starting to get big. The other reason is, and you'll see them in a second, and I didn't get one because there was another one, but I'll show you. But I like this Nicola Scott Wonder Woman cover. It's amazing. The movie might not be the best, but the covers are amazing. For the Future State Next Batman, I picked up the variant cover with apparently his face shield, like his mouthpiece thing getting shattered, which I thought was pretty great artwork there. This is the other reason the variant pile is larger this week, and that is because there was also a blank cover for the next Batman. I don't know why I pick up blank covers, or the reason why. I think it's part of me is like, eventually you're going to go to a con, and eventually you're going to want an artist to draw something for you. And these are a great place for artists to draw stuff. I think that's my justification. I have yet to have anybody draw on any of these covers. And yeah. So that's why. The Wonder Woman 84 variants and blank covers for a bunch of the Future State books. That's why there's a lot more variants. J. Scott Campbell, of course, did the next Batman variant cover for the Wonder Woman 84, which looks amazing. It's fantastic. It's one of the hot ones. We had Gary Frank do an amazing variant for Future State Harley Quinn. I love this cover. It's fantastic. Gary Frank's artwork is amazing. Harley Quinn, Future State Harley Quinn, of course, having a Wonder Woman cover by Jenny Friesen. Thank you. My brain is not working. So there's the Jenny Friesen Future State Harley Wonder Woman variant cover. There was a variant cover for Future State Superman of Metropolis, so I snagged that one up there. There was a blank cover, but I didn't get it because I was like, yeah, I'm not the hugest fan of Superman, and so I didn't really see me getting anything drawn on one of those. So who knows? Of course, Frank Cho does the Future State Wonder Woman, Superman Metropolis Wonder Woman cover, and I thought that was another good one there. Swamp Thing, the Future State Swamp Thing, but I keep saying this, the thing, and then Future State. It's Future State and then the character. Future State Swamp Thing had a pretty cool cover with some green characters from the green there. So I thought that was very nice. And of course, Jenny Friesen does another Future State cover, and that is for Future State Wonder Woman #1 with the new Wonder Woman there. And I thought that one was cool as well. And then we have Adam Hughes making a return to doing Wonder Woman comics, and that he drew the Wonder Woman 84 variant for Future State Wonder Woman #1. So yeah, so really cool. And then of course we have Future State Wonder Woman #1, the blank cover. So yeah, so that's a lot of variants. I know, I'm a sucker. Yeah, you write it in the comments below, all that stuff. Fine, I know, deal with it. Yeah. So yeah. I did get their graphic novels. Nothing too crazy came out. From the YA line or young adult line of DC graphic novels is House of L, The Shadow Threat, or book 1, The Shadow Threat by Claudia Gray. So I'm really super excited to see what this one is about. It's, looks like it's set with, let's see. Yeah, like it's set in Kryptonian times. So we'll see what it's all about. Claudia Gray likes to write kind of these romance stories in set in other universes. So because she also did the, let me double check because I don't want to mess it up here. Yeah, she also did the Lost Stars, the Star Wars YA novel, where it kind of followed a person who was in the Empire and a person who was a rebellion, and they cared about each other, but they were on different sides. And I thought that was a good take in the Star Wars universe, and it was nice. It was a different, it's a YA novel. You can have a little fun with it. And finally, we got this wonderful Marvel previews that finally came in. Be aware, this one's going to be having the variant covers for Aliens coming, so you need to check on those. You're probably going to see a lot of those Fox properties start dropping as variant covers on Marvel books. They'll probably have a line of Alien covers, they'll have a line of Predator covers, they'll have a line of whatever cover. So be on the lookout for that. I need to flip through it to see if there's any Star Wars books I need to get, but other than that, I just don't want to do it. I need to get on my previews order though, so that's a lot. That's it for this week. Sorry it's so late this week. Just it's out of my hands when the books are delayed. So at least I'm getting it recorded. At least I'm getting it down for you guys. Please like, share, or subscribe to the channel. Leave your comments down in the comment section below. Let me know what you think. Let me know what you're picking up. Let me, if you have any questions, all that stuff. The internet's kind of a place all the time, so let's keep it nice in the comment section, all that fun stuff. So yeah, thank you for that. You can listen to me on the Comics Conspiracy podcast. We finished recording episode 482, which is our first episode of the year, and it's a double-length episode. First part is me and the normal gallery of hosts talking about 2020 and just kind of the year in how, like, what we were reading and what we liked and what stood out, as well as like how did we survive, or how are we still doing. And then we have the second part is some of our guest hosts where Ryan got together and they did the same thing. So there'll be a link in the description below for that. You can check that out as well. And if you want, you can help me and my fellow conspirators out through Patreon at www.patreon.com/comicsconspiracy. For as little as $1 a month, you help us with hosting fees and supporting our habit. So thank you very much for your support. It means I can read and be an idiot and buy some extra variant covers. You can also head over to you can also click on any of the Amazon links here or at conspiratorrock.com. That will get me a couple Amazon bucks if you buy through those. Or you can head over to my eBay page where I'm purging out stuff and getting rid of stuff all the time. Sometimes I randomly get things and I sell those too. So check it out there as usual. Link in the description below. I'm still suspended from Twitter. It's been almost 3 months. I have no idea what's going on. I've read things where people are like, yeah, you need to constantly message them. And then I've read things where like, no, don't constantly message them. They'll just drop your ticket. because I had them drop a ticket. I had a ticket there and it was going, and then they dropped it, and then the next one I put in appeal in, it started a brand new ticket and shoved me at whatever part of the line. And so yeah, I got caught up in a Twitter algorithm. Really, really crappy times, especially with how long it took Twitter to stop somebody's account for at least 12 hours. Mine wasn't that bad. Yeah, we'll see. I did try to make a Bizarro account just to get back on and be like, hey, I'm still here, I'm still present. But they blocked my IP, or they connected it with my IP and blocked that one as well. I literally was able to make the account go on for 2 seconds and friend Ryan Higgins, and then it said you're suspended for making multiple accounts when you're suspended. I'm like, so yeah, and I know people have said, well, get a different VPN, go do a different thing, start it over. I'm like, it's too much work and effort. Whatever. If I never get a Twitter account again, oh well. I'll suffer, I guess. Yay! I've been doing okay without it, I guess, so far. We'll see. Well, what can you do? Yeah. That's pretty much it. I'm getting it's late. I need to kind of plug away at getting some of this stuff up on conspiratorbark.com, at least for the list of books. The video will be up most likely tomorrow morning if I work on it while I'm working. So yeah, thanks for watching. Please, please be safe out there with especially everything that's been going on in in America, in politics, with everything that's going on with COVID and Corona. My uncle got diagnosed with it, and as of Monday, I was texted he's in the hospital on a ventilator. I have not heard word yet about what his condition is. I'm assuming he's still okay. Being in a different state, and as busy single father, I sent a message out to reach out, but I haven't heard back. But I'll get updates when there's an update, I guess. Yeah, and then my step aunt got it, and then my cousin got it, her husband got it, and it kind of spread like wildfire. And it spread like wildfire because they got together during Christmas. So please, please practice social distancing. Please stay safe. Wear a mask. Do like Zoom calls or Google Meets or Duo calls or whatever people are doing to virtually interact. And it's the best thing to do until we get to that point where vaccinations are high in the population of the world, and there's a herd immunity that can actually be built up at that point. We got to play it safe, because it's not necessarily that COVID is deadly. It's that COVID knocks people down, or like knocks people to the point that they need to be hospitalized and put on ventilators, and to the point where hospitals don't have enough beds for people who have heart attacks, strokes, they have blood clots, get sick from something, gunshot wound, everything you can think of, it gets backlogged because COVID patient is sitting in there and they're trying to save their life. And so yeah, so let's not overload those places. I know I've gone on a little long today, and it's been a little bit, it's more of a public service announcement and a request that everybody stay safe, because that's really all we should be doing, is playing it safe and looking out for one another. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you next week.